Hey friends, how are you guys doing today? I hope you're doing so well, and welcome back to another thrifty video. If you guys don't know me, then welcome here. I make thrifting content all about thrifting and reselling clothing and other pieces online on places like eBay and whatnot and Poshmark, things like that. And so I have a lot of fun taking you guys along with me along my journey. I teach you guys what brands are good to resell. So if you guys are part-time resellers, full-time resellers, just enjoy thrifting in general, this is the place for you. But today we're gonna do a recap video. So I like to every single month look back and see how much money I actually made reselling the previous month. So we're gonna take a look at my top sales of the month, how much I actually sell as a semi-full-time reseller. Reselling and thrifting is my whole job, but it's also included in YouTube. And so I'm reselling, but also doing a lot of YouTube work as well. So anyways, so as I would say half full-time, part-time reseller, we're gonna see how much I make reselling online used clothing. So it's gonna be fun. And we're also gonna talk a little bit about my eBay store, which I know a lot of people have been requesting because I'm a person that started off on Poshmark, and then I used a service to cross-list all of my pieces from Poshmark onto eBay as well. And because I was used to my Poshmark closet, which does not ding you for having to cancel orders in case you maybe list selling twice or you've already sold it on a different platform, it doesn't do anything against you really. eBay does. And so we're gonna talk a little bit about how I had to restart my eBay store and the reasons why, and I'll also give you guys all the details along the way. If that sounds good to you guys, make sure to hit that subscribe button. But let's jump into it. We're gonna start with my numbers in total. Let's see what I sold, the big overview of how much I did in sales. I think that's super important to hear. So February 2024, I sold 73 items between Poshmark, Mercari, and eBay. I sold exactly one item on Mercari, which Mercari, I'm just having so much issues with. I wonder if I should just even stop selling there and wasting my time. But Poshmark and eBay doing pretty good. For me only having my eBay store up now for 2 or 3 months, I'm pretty happy that I sold over $300 on eBay this month, which is great. On Poshmark, I sold over $2,000. On Whatnot, I sold close to $2,000. So those two were my main sources of income this month. And then eBay over $300. So in total, my total sales from all of my different platforms were $4,457. So almost $5,000 reselling people's used clothing that I pick up at the Goodwill or at the Goodwill outlet or thrift stores in general, which is amazing. And then from that, my net sales, so after each platform takes its fees, my net profit, my net sales after all of that was $3,695.54. So about $3,700 is what I get paid. That doesn't include my cost of goods or any of my actual fees outside of the platforms, but still really good numbers. I'm happy with that. My goal each month is to sell around $4,000. And so definitely hit that goal this month, which is awesome. And the only reason I was able to hit that goal is because I use Vendoo, and I'm super excited to say that they are sponsoring today's video. Vendoo is a cross-listing service, but they're not just cross-listing, they're all-in-one inclusive. And one of the reasons I wanted to talk about my eBay store today is that I am coming back on eBay. My eBay store is thriving again, but it's literally completely thanks to Vendoo. I would not be able to sell on eBay as well as on my Poshmark if I wasn't using Vendoo. I sold something on Depop this month. I didn't include that in my sales. I think I sold a leather jacket on there for $60 or something. It's my first Depop sale, so I should definitely include that too. But the only reason I'm able to sell on any platform other than just Poshmark, that's my comfort level, that's the platform I started on, is because I use Vendoo to cross-list. So now, instead of listing things directly on my Poshmark, I go into Vendoo, my husband takes pictures for me, he uploads them into Vendoo, and then he creates a draft. And then I'm able to go into each draft and put in all the details. For my cover photo, I go in and I white out the background in Vendoo, and then I literally just fill in a Vendoo form, and then I'm able to, after filling that in, go to each of the platforms I want to list it on and just fill out a few details, and with a click of a button, they get listed for me. As I connect each of my platforms, it's so easy to cross-list, and especially with how cheap the price is. With selling just one single item on another platform, the whole service basically pays for itself. And the biggest part of why I use Vendoo and what their feature that I'm in love with is their automatic sale detection and delisting. That was the problem I ran into on eBay, is I would have something listed on eBay and Poshmark, and then if it sold on Poshmark, sometimes I would forget to delete it from eBay, and that was such a problem. The reason I couldn't come back from my eBay store being a below standard level seller was because I had to cancel things I had previously sold on Poshmark. And now I don't worry about that, because every time I sell something on Poshmark or eBay, any of my platforms now, they automatically will take it down from the other platforms it's listed on, which is so incredibly helpful and such a literal mind-saving, peace-saving device. It's incredible. I love it. I highly recommend using Vendoo, and I don't just say that because they're sponsoring me. I used them before they sponsored me, and they just keep getting better and better. They come out with new innovations literally all the time. I could rave about them all day. So yes, you guys should definitely try it out. You can try it out. There's a free trial, so you don't have to pay anything. If you do decide to sign up, you can use my code. I'll put it up on the screen. It's also always going to be in the description box, and that will give you, I think, 20% off your first month, which is awesome. And it also helps to support my channel. So definitely, I would recommend trying them out, but Vendoo literally has changed the way I sell. It has helped so much. So now let's jump into some of the individual sales from the month. I'm gonna hit some of the sales that were $50 and above. I had a couple of really good sales. This month I sold a little bit less on Poshmark than normal. I was not a super consistent lister this past month. We had a lot going on. I had a lot going on in my personal life that, yeah, I just was not as consistent as I should have been. So I don't have as many super high price sales as I would normally have, but we're still gonna go through it with some $50 and up sales, and I find these to be the most helpful to share with you guys because a lot of the people that watch my videos want to be selling a little bit more of those higher priced items. These are good brands to be on the lookout for, and if you ever want to see just a bread and butter video of what I sell for like $10, 20 bucks, then I can make that as well. But let's start. The first thing that sold for around $50 this month was a Goldie Parker shorts in white dough denim, women's size 27, and I picked these bad boys up from the bins. The bins is the Goodwill outlet. It's where you pay per pound for anything you find. You're digging through bins, and so to find a Goldie pair of shorts was an amazing feat, and to find them in white without stains was even more of a feat. But a Goldie, great brand to resell. This was a pair of shorts, and they sold for 50 bucks on Poshmark. We made $40 at the end of the day. They were listed at 80, and they gave me a $50 offer, and I accepted that in a heartbeat because, again, I picked them up in the bin, so I probably paid close to $1 for those. This next item that sold was the Talentless Women's Dolman Crop Crew Neck in rare green color. Is a size small, and this was actually a more recent find. It's a brand I had never heard of, but when I felt the quality of the piece, I kind of realized, okay, this is pretty nice. And so I looked it up, and the comps were pretty good. So I listed it at $65 and accepted a $52 offer. Not too shabby for this sweatshirt that I didn't really know and I just kind of happened upon. And so I think I bought that for $5. Not too bad. Love that. Okay, next piece. It sold for $59, and it was a pair of Paul Green Oxford wingtip booties. They are UK size 5.5 or a US size 8. And I have been really coming to find more Paul Green shoes recently, which is really exciting. I found one the other day. I don't think I've done that haul yet, but to find them is so exciting, and it's a great find. So these sold for $59 on Poshmark. So from $59, we made $45.18 after fees. And I want to say that I found these in the bins at the very least. If I didn't find them in the bins, I paid $5, probably max for them, which is awesome. And then another piece that I picked up on the same day is the Talentless piece. This was from I think it was like a 70 or 90% off Plato's Closet sale. I got the Talentless piece and these Free People pants, both from a clothes mentor. It was the Free People Ollie Extreme wide leg light wash jeans in blue high-rise size 33, an amazing size. Free People, especially some of their denim that's more recent, does really well. I saw comps for these, and a lot of them were listed around $80 to $90, so I listed at $85, and I got an offer for $60. So I accepted $60, and we made $48 after all the fees. And all sale denim at that clothes mentor was $5. So I paid $5 and then sold for $60. we made 48, so my net after literally everything, I made $43 on that pair of jeans. And I picked those up more recently, actually. So I'm pretty happy with that. So the next one that I found literally sold in one day. And I have had a lot of people telling me in the comments that Sorel hasn't been moving for them. I can't keep Sorel, I guess there's a caveat. I can't keep Sorel like winter booties in stock in my store. They sell really quickly. So maybe it's just the ones that are more recent, that have more recent kind of cool looking styles, but these were the Sorel Women's Kinetic Caribou Boot in gray and black leather size 8, and they sold for $68 in one day. I had them listed for $85, and I have Posher VA sends out automatic offers for me, and so it sold on an offer for $68. I paid $6 for them. So after the fees, we made $52.38 minus my $6 cost of goods. We're coming out about $46 net profit, which is awesome. And they sold in one day. So I made about $50 in one day from picking up a pair of boots at my local Goodwill, which is awesome. So here we go. Now we're into an $80 sale, which is awesome. This was a New Tags Tadashi Shoji one shoulder Mess Illusion cutout navy blue dress in size large. This I've had for a while. I picked this up at a thrift store back when I lived in Maryland. So it's probably been a year since I picked this up. It was listed at $100. They bought it for $80 and we made $61.98. My cost of goods at that thrift store, 2nd Avenue, love that place, was close to $5 almost every time I went. So right around $55 net profit. I hope I'm not spewing too many numbers at you. I personally love to hear every single thing. Like, I want to know how much somebody paid for something. I want to know how much they actually made, because I feel like without all the numbers, you can get a skewed view of how much somebody is selling. Somebody could be selling pallets and be paying like 20 bucks per item, and you wouldn't know it unless they tell you. So hopefully you guys find that helpful and not too overwhelming. But there you go. $100 is our next sale. Lovely. I sold this J. Crew double cloth ladies day coat in teal. It was in a women's size 2. It was in excellent condition. I had this listed at $200, which honestly the comps were that good, but it was a size 2 and it was kind of tealy, like it was bright. And we're heading out of winter. I paid $8 for it, so it was a great price. I had it listed at $200. I accepted a $100 offer, so 50% off. Probably could have waited another 6 months and maybe sold it for more, but I decided to take the money and run with it because I bought it for $8 at Goodwill. So it's a $100 sale. We made $80. That's $72 of net profit, which is very good in my opinion. Like, anything I can sell for around $100, I'm going to be super happy with. Same thing with this next sale. This is another good one. We're going in ascending order. Have you guys noticed? My biggest sale is coming up still, but this was a really cool piece. I found this vintage Fendi bag. I had a whole video about this. If you guys haven't seen it, definitely go look through my videos, but I found this vintage Fendissime accessory logo nylon shoulder bag. It had a built-in bag in it. It was a size, it was in tan coloring, and it had a little bit of flaws on it, which is why it went for a little bit less, I think, but I listed it $150 and it sold in a bundle. So it came out to $104.65 for the bag. Now, I paid $5 for it at my local Goodwill, which is awesome. And so we made $78 from the purse, which means we made $73 net profit. And again, I was so excited to find this. Vintage Fendi looks different than the current Fendi style. Fendi is a designer label. A lot of their more recent things just have the F's kind of like upside down and like opposite of each other, parallel. But the old Fendi was Fendissime, and it was actually also used for like juniors, which is so interesting. There's a lot of history in every brand, but this is one that they didn't recognize because every single designer handbag at my local Goodwills gets marked up to at least 30 bucks and put behind the counter, but they didn't recognize this, and so it was only marked at $5, which we love. Now, the last big sale of the month that I wanted to highlight actually sold yesterday. I accepted an offer on eBay. What up? And then they paid this morning. So I'm gonna send that out today. Very excited about this sale. Also, they were such a good buyer. They were such a good offerer. I have this listed at $175 on my eBay. I just relisted it yesterday. I went through and relisted on Vendu all of my oldest and most expensive pieces to try to get fresh eyes on them. And literally as soon as I did that, the next day I sold this piece. It was listed for $175 and they sent me a $150 offer, which is very, very reasonable. So $150 for this Mr. Freedom rock and roll shirt, BRB white Hawaiian shirt in a men's size large. I pulled this out of the bins. So I thought that the tag looked interesting, and this is now a definite BOLO for people. If you see this tag, it is really good and it will resell for good money. This one was really interesting and it had a different kind of pattern to it, but this one just made in Australia, so this is gonna be very interesting. But I bought the shipping, it's already sent out. From $150, we make $125.16 in net earnings. So I feel good about that. So they paid for the shipping and all of that jazz. So I paid $1 for this in the bins. It's sold for $150 and I'll make $125. So $124 net profit is nothing to sneeze at, especially when I'm not like, you know, looking online, able to scour the internet for the pieces that I want to resell. I know some people do that and I love that for them. But for me, digging in the bins and finding a piece of treasure that I then resell for $150 is like, that is a rush. That is such a rush for me. So yeah, those are all the pieces that I wanted to highlight today. A lot of great bigger sales, but also I wanted to definitely take that time to talk about my eBay store because I got into such trouble that I couldn't come back from. If I wanted to be able to redeem the store that I had, I would have had to sell like the next 1,000 items and not receive a single defect. But I also was being limited to only being able to sell like 10 items a month. So for me, like years of trying to come back without knowing if I would ever be able to be a top rated seller, which is what you really need in order to do well on eBay, was like, it was too much. And so I just cut my losses and I started up a new eBay. I also recently, I haven't even talked about this. I recently incorporated myself into a business. So now my Bekah Allison LLC business exists. So I'm no longer, you know, operating under myself. And so I was able to start a store with a business name and that's really helpful. And so I'm really doing a lot here in the background. I am incorporating my business. I'm doing all the legal things myself. I started payroll. I'm doing all of these very interesting things that would honestly be probably helpful to make a video on for somebody else because I was so confused and I had to teach myself so much while doing it. So let me know if you would want to see a video like that. But yeah, with all of that stuff going on in the background, this has been an interesting month. But I do feel pretty proud of myself for how much I was still able to sell. And I, again, like, thank you so much to Vendu for sponsoring today's video because there's no way I would be able to sell as much as I am today without using a service like them that's made it so easy on me. I really appreciate it. So I would highly recommend you try it out, even just do the free trial. And then if you decide that you think it will help you, then definitely, I would say it pays for itself within like one thing that you sell. And so remember to use my code. That will get you 20% off your first month. But thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments which piece you sold this month was your favorite or what you sold for a great amount, a great BOLO. Share it with us. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. And until the next video, bye.